Look, there's a reason why a lot of men these days are trying to breadcrumb y'all on the dating scene. And if you don't know what breadcrumbing is, it's when a guy will basically spoon feed you or like kind of bird feed you love and attention and things that you need in a relationship, but never quite enough. But let me give you a little backstory before we get into that. So last night I was on my Self-Crown VIP live chat, and one of my members, she was like, look, I'm frustrated. I haven't dated in a long time. When I did date, I was really just disappointed. You know, these standards and stuff like that we're supposed to have, like, yeah, it's great in terms of internal quality of life and individually being strong and being good. But, you know, I would like some companionship, and she was just really struggling with that. Totally normal, totally understandable. But let me make it very clear. The reason why a lot of y'all who are, you know, you strengthened yourself, you've come up in life, you're doing your thing. The reason why a lot of y'all are going to deal with the frustration and you're going to deal with the disappointment whenever you do date a man is because a lot of weak men cannot handle strong women. And I'm not talking about the strong woman in terms of the one that can, you know, take a lot of blows and take a lot of mistreatment. That's not what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about strong, I'm talking about a woman who's strong in terms of like her value, in terms of her identity, in terms of what she wants, her certainty, you know, like her voice in a relationship, her standards, you know, like she's accountable and she holds people accountable. That's what I mean by strong. She's not fair weather. She's not fickle. She you know, she doesn't blow whichever way the wind blows or following every trend or anything like that. You know, she's just very firm in what she's about. A lot of weak men cannot handle strong women. So what they'll do is they'll play these little games in order to gauge where a woman falls. And one of those games is to breadcrumb. So again, back to what I was saying about breadcrumbing. For those of y'all that missed it, breadcrumbing is when a person basically bird feeds you or spoon feeds you their love and attention, things that you need in a relationship, but just enough to keep you hanging on. Never enough to truly satisfy and fulfill you. So obviously, and I talked about this before, so I won't go too far in depth here, but one of the reasons a man will breadcrumb you is, of course, to manipulate you. Again, keep you salivating, keep you basically, please, you know, love on me, please call me or whatever. It's a control tactic, narcissistic, all that other good stuff. Another reason why, I don't know if I talked about this one, but it's a form of projection of expectations of abandonment. If that's kind of wordy, let me break that down. Is basically to say, because I expect to be abandoned, because I expect you to leave me due to my unhealed childhood trauma, I'm going to stay 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I'm only going to give you a fraction of myself. And I'm going to self-fulfill the prophecy that you're going to leave me by only giving you that fraction of myself. But that's my way of staying guarded. And that's my way of being prepared for the inevitable of you leaving me. Right? That's a projection. That's a man's way of projecting that you're eventually going to leave him. So he doesn't give you all his love. He only lets you in that much. You know, he only opens the door just a bit. So when it's time to close that door, it's much easier. He just basically, he's perpetuating his own abandonment at this point. Nonetheless, the third reason why a guy will breadcrumb you on the dating scene, and this is what I was talking about, is to temperature check you. It's to gauge where you stand, where you fall. You know, does this woman have true standards? Or, you know, the moment that she likes me and likes how I look and like how, you know, my money look or whatever, she's going to just, you know, sacrifice all of those standards and all of those requirements that she had in the beginning. If, you know, if I give her inconsistency, is she going to check me on that? If I don't keep my word, is she going to check me on that? If I disrespect her, is she going to leave me for that? So, you know, little breadcrumbing, little games being played is a way to check your temperature. See if you're hot, see if you're cold, see if you're lukewarm. And again, the reason for this is because weak men cannot handle strong women. And I'm not here to bash on weak men. It's just like, I've been weak before. Every man that I know has been weak. Every woman that I know has been weak before at some point. But here's the thing with a weak man and a strong woman. They will try because strong women are attractive. Your light is attractive to all, good, bad, and ugly. But weak men will go 1 or 2 times with a strong woman and it'll be frustrating. It'll be hurtful. And then they'll have a choice. They'll either have to elevate so they can get the woman that they're so attracted to, or they'll say, you know what? I'm just going to stay weak and I'm going to play games. So I can see who's weak as well, and I can just stay with that woman. I can just be with that woman that's on my level, that's going to let me talk to her a certain way, you know, that's going to let me be inconsistent, that's going to let me be vague about the trajectory of the relationship. She's going to let me disrespect the relationship. You know, I'm just going to play games so I can stay where I'm at. But there are men who say, I'm tired of being weak. I'm tired of not having or being able to handle what it is I want and what it is I love in a woman, because it is attractive to be with a strong woman. But here's the thing. A lot of men do really like the idea of a strong woman. They just can't handle the reality of her. And this, again, this is not to bash men because it really goes both ways. The difference is this, though, because there is a difference. Women, y'all tend to fall for a man's potential. Men tend to fall for the idea of a woman. It's a slight difference, because women in your femininity, you're more visionary. Your intuition, your emotional intuitiveness, like you can feel things from a person. You can sense a person's energy. You can sense a person's character if your emotions aren't in the way, if you're not broken. Right? You can sense things, right? So you're visionary. You meet a man and you can see things for him that he can't even see for himself. You can connect dots. You can think to yourself, like, you could be so great. You can go so far. You're so strong. You're so intelligent. You can just think to what this man can be. But sometimes that's to your detriment. So you end up falling for his potential, right? So it does go both ways. Again, with men, we fall for the idea of a woman a lot of times. If we haven't gotten it really tapped into our masculine energy, which is more assertive, which is more ambitious, we can fall for the idea of things. Like, again, a masculine man tends to be ambitious. That's why you're not hard pressed to find, especially like our older granddaddies and stuff like that. They got like 10 different business ideas, but they never followed through with none of them because they fell in love with the idea of a business venture, but didn't go through with it, didn't have the capacity to go through it, couldn't afford it, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what happens. And what happens whenever a weak man gets with a strong woman, because he does try, he'll complain about her being strong in all of those ways that I talked about before. She requires him to have adult conversations when he doesn't want to have it. She requires to have structure to the time and to make time for her, not just spare time for her, all of those different things. But I kind of compare it to, like, a couple of years ago, y'all, I had a Lamborghini, right? And some of y'all may remember, I only posted like once or twice. I'm not flashy. That's actually why I got rid of it, because I don't like too much attention. Anyway, a lot of the attention I got was from people that would say things like, man, one day I'm gonna get me one. Oh, I wish I had me a Lamborghini. Oh, I wish I had one. And in the back of my mind, I would think to myself, like, you don't wish you had no Lamborghini. You like the idea of the Lamborghini because it will make you look good. It drives fast, it gives you a lot of respect, I guess, something like that. But a Lamborghini costs like $500 just to get an oil change. And you can't just go anywhere to get that oil change. I had one little issue in like the fender or whatever, like a little electrical issue, something really minor, $23,000 to fix. So people would say, oh, I want a Lamborghini. And I'd be thinking to myself, you want a Lamborghini. You like the idea of the Lamborghini, but you honestly wouldn't be able to handle all that comes with it. So what am I getting at here? Is that a lot of you are frustrated and you're disappointed, but you're a Lamborghini level woman. And you're dealing with people who can't handle the payments, much less the maintenance. They can't handle what comes with you. They like the idea of you because you look good, you talk good, you're supportive, you are growing, you're elevating, you're a great mom, you're a great businesswoman, or at least somebody that can support somebody who is good in business. You got all of these different benefits, but the payment's a little higher. What you require from a man is going to be on the same level of what you're bringing in the relationship. And the problem, my frustration that I have, and the passion behind why I talk like the way that I do, is because I see a lot of y'all who are Lamborghinis. You saying, I just want somebody to drive me. So you letting these people who they don't have the credit for you, they don't have the income history for you, and you letting them come on your parking lot, look around, test drive you, put miles on you, wreck you when they can't drive you because they want to take pictures and look good for their friends and family and say, look, I made it. And the whole time you needed to tell these people, these patrons, hey, I'm not mad at you. You know what I'm saying? But you need to go on down there to Target or Toys R Us and get you a scooter. That's about all you can afford. Go down there and get you a scooter, get you a tricycle. Maybe if you get your income up, you get your income up, you get you some references, you get your credit score up a little bit, then we can talk. But right now, no, you come in to play. You come in to test drive and I ain't got time to test drive. And that's my frustration whenever I see Lamborghini women, mad because they're not getting the attention of the Toyota Camrys. No disrespect to Toyota Camrys. I mean, everybody need love. Weak men need love too, but they don't need it from you because it's going to come at a cost to you. And so that looks like, your dealership parking lot having a little bit less traffic. And I'm not telling you this just to gas you up. If you ever go to a Lamborghini dealership, you'll see like there's not a long line of people just waiting outside or whatever. Like that's just not how it goes. You don't even see advertisements for Lamborghinis and Rolls Royces and Bentleys. And you don't even see advertisements because they know they're not going after the masses. There's a very specific customer that can even handle what comes with that car, even if they can get it. There's a very small amount of people who have special qualities and standards about themselves that can handle that car, take care of it, make the payments on time, maintenance it, et cetera, even know how to drive it. And as a Lamborghini woman, I'm not trying to dehumanize y'all, just stick with the analogy. As a woman on that top tier, you developed yourself, you worked on yourself, you got to get used to that same thing. Because as a woman who's developed all of these things, you have to be in a position, you have to have the mindset that you will protect it from anybody who becomes a threat. And some people come in as a threat because they ain't got what it takes all out the gate. You can kind of see that just off top. They done wrecked every car that they done never drove. Again, they just don't have they just don't have it. And then in a relationship, you also have to have the ability to walk away from anything that's trying to ruin everything that you built up in yourself. That's what really separates a strong woman from everybody else. I'm just got to call a spade a spade. Not that you leave at the first sign of trouble, but you will never sacrifice the best version of yourself. It took you years and prayers and tears and sleepless nights to develop and to cultivate. You won't sacrifice all that you were able to get from that sacrifice for anybody, for any validation, for any consistent sex, for anybody's money. That's what separates you. And that's a good thing. Because it's not like, the dating scene only has to offer weak men. I don't want to give that impression at all. There are men who get it. There are men who have had to get it later on in life or had to get it through some painful experiences. There are evolved men who are ready to match your energy in every way that's beneficial to your life, in every way that's aligned with the best version of you continuing to be better and better. That's the evolved man that I talk about. The only thing is, again, you don't have to go and advertise like the Camrys and the toy, whatever else, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to, like the Hyundais, you ain't got to advertise, but you do have to stand out. You can't look like them. You can't talk like them. And a lot of y'all don't know how to accentuate what makes you an evolved woman. A lot of you guys don't know how to make that abundantly clear to a man who is evolved and can match your energy. Now, if you want more on that conversation, where I break that down step by step, I simplified it. I talked about it in my free masterclass, Secrets to Making Evolved Men Crave You. If you have not gotten access to that, I'll put it right here one more time so you don't miss it. Again, it's at this comment right here. That link that's in that comment, click that, get access to it. Secrets to Making Evolved Men Crave You. So you can get the patron that's actually on your level. The link is also in the caption whenever you back out. If you can't see it in this pinned comment, just go in the caption and click that link. But back to what I was saying. Breadcrumbing is just one of the ways a man will play games because he's trying to gauge where you stand. He's trying to check your temperature. And my thing is this: if a man come in playing games, being inconsistent, being disrespectful, being hot and cold, and he's just trying to check your temperature, burn him. Burn him. Let him know not to put his hands on hot stoves. He ain't trying to cook. He need to get out of the kitchen. Burn him. But those are just my thoughts. Y'all share this on your timeline. If you got anything beneficial from this, share this with somebody else on your timeline. Bless them as well. And if you're in the market for an evolved man, click the link that's pinned here in this comment. Click the link, get access to that free masterclass. Absolutely free. You ain't got to pay a dime. Get access to it now so you can get your evolved man.